whatever was done to me or that I did to other people, and cleaning that up. And that can be cleaned up. Excuse me, but this gentleman had his hand up.
It was just that what you're expressing in the ideology of what you're expressing here between the ego and the spirit, I'm looking at it as if it's almost a sort of a circle in where you have like the yin yang, and you have you're going from one into the other, yet one thing is surrendering. One gives birth to the other, yet surrenders as you tame it. And so as you live it, you sort of are going day to day, trying to resolve it, trying to tame it, trying to analyze it, trying to sort of flow with it, but not get stagnant at any of the points below where the ego tends to want to take a little stand here and there. Whereas if you were, as you identify with spirit, it's a continuum sort of thing where that's how I'm understanding this.
Right. I think you're right on. Thank you. Yes.
Question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you wait 1 second? Because this lady here.
Yeah.
What's next?
It's, you know, leaving these lessons, we can really put them to work. Because I also attend the Science of Mind Center in Eustace. And we've done a lesson on that Wednesday about the ego and spirit and spirit in action. You really can see it. And I cut this guy off. I wasn't thinking. And it was at night. It was about 10 o'clock. And he started shouting from the window, a lot of insults. And so I says, let me try and get away from her. So I get out and I start driving to the shopping center. And he follows me into the shopping center. And I says, well, I better get in someplace light, just in case inside. But all the time I keep remembering there's a spirit greater than we are that's taking care of the situation. So I drove to this restaurant where there was light and some people eating out. And I stopped. And he comes up to my window and he's shouting and, you know, threatening, and he's got tattoos and, you know, really look fierce. And I listened, and then you know, he was done. I wanted with it done, and I said, "You're correct. You're absolutely correct. And thank you for coming to remind me that I need to pay attention." And he says, "Okay." And after he walked up, I opened the window and I said, "I really truly thank you for reminding me that I'm in the wrong. That you're reminding me to look out and be careful. Thanks for taking the time to come and tell me that." And he was totally disarmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came from the fact that I done the lesson on Wednesday, and this was Saturday. And somehow I remember not to forget. That spirit is really in charge.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And when we know that, we're fearless.
Yes, absolutely.
And he saw that.
Thank you. Reverend Al,
No, I have visitors first.
okay.
Oh,
Mark.
I mean, does it really come down to that all of it is in the next second or the next moment or the next thought? I mean, it's nothing more than being there in the next moment that comes at you. I mean, like right now, like your approach was that you were just coming out of love, what you were describing, and but it was all good. I mean, that's the only way that it could turn out. It was there was a possibility. So you're saying, like in each moment, our consciousness needs to be put there on that point in choice.
Yeah. Every moment.
And it was like really one moment at a time, and when you're in it, and the moments that you're in it. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a good reminder that all we have is this moment right now, and that's when the opportunity is to make the change.
It's constant choice in every moment. What feels good for you.
Exactly. Right.
And what I understand, or am I understanding this correctly, that we use this bridge of miracles, what is that second word? I can't see that.
Meditation.
Meditation.
Okay.
Faith and
intuition. And intuition, as we use this bridge to transform the ego world into the world of spirit. In Science of Mind, Dr. Holmes said that the ego is the spirit of God within us. And if, and of course, I've read in other books that that's not so, but I'm a religious scientist, so I have to find out the truth. And as you said, our ego is there because we need the ego. And if we have an ego, so God must have created it, or we created it for our highest good. And to transform that ego, we use that bridge of meditation, miracles, and faith in order to transform it, so we can live on that in that realm of consciousness. You got that right?
As far as I'm concerned, you got it right.
I want to be right, you know.
Yeah. I know a lot of people use ego in a different sense.
Yes.
And some, Freud certainly was the first one to make it popular.
Yes.
The ego and the superego.
Yes.
But this is a much broader interpretation, and this ego has both conscious and unconscious parts.
Yes.
There's parts of this ego that we're not at all in touch with or aware of, just like we're not aware of spirit a lot of the time, unless we come to some program like this.
Or read your book, because you have it in there.
Or read my book, yes. Read my
Yes.
book.
Yes.
Yes.
It seems to me these pathways, these bridges,
Yes.
actually help to form an energetic field that then helps you to better recognize when you've slipped out of the field.
Yeah.
Allowing that ego to operate in a way that you start, and the more you have the bridge in action, the quicker you feel
Yeah.
that you're slipping.
Yes.
And then you can correct it because you know that's what is the way to return
Right.
to
Yes.
the energy field.
Right.
Is this not true?
I believe it is true. Yes.
Makes sense to
I
me.
think you put it very well.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this chart is also a little misleading because the spirit, the individual spirit, of course, is not a band of energy in between this and this. Our spirit is totally integrated with, our individual spirits are totally integrated with each other and with the overall spirit. So we're energy fields, as you say, within the spiritual world, and of course our ego is part of that because it's part of our soul. Our soul is comprised of the I call this I, and the ego that we created. So it's kind of like a two-part soul, and there are beings, spiritual beings, who don't have egos. We call them angels. They never developed egos, and they probably or possibly never into practical form. And so it is all energy fields, and that's something I'm just kind of beginning to understand better, is that my energy field right now is interacting with yours and everybody else in the room, and our energy fields all overlap. So this doesn't, it's just for illustration purposes, but it doesn't represent what I believe to be the true situation. Yes.